Daniel grew up in a house where dreams were treated like trash on the curb, picked up once in a while, then thrown away before anyone got attached. On his side of town, sirens were a lullaby. Roaches raced across kitchen tiles. The fridge hummed louder than the grown-ups because most nights, the grown-ups were too tired, too high, or too gone to say much of anything. He learned young that some kids get bedtime stories. He got shouted arguments through thin walls, broken glass on the porch, and a mother who loved him but was swallowed by her own hurt. His father was more rumor than man, a name people used when they wanted to explain why he was bound to end up like the rest of them. Teachers didn't ask, "What do you want to be?" They asked, "Who were you fighting this time?" They didn't see a child. They saw a statistic, another last name they recognized from older brothers, cousins, uncles who'd already sat in the back of squad cars. One night, at 12 years old, he stood in the doorway of the living room. His little sister slept on the couch with the TV light flickering over her face, cartoons still playing even though nobody was watching. His mother sat at the table, head in her hands, overdue bills spread out like losing lottery tickets. Something cracked inside him. Not a pretty movie moment, no music, no bright light, just a quiet, stubborn thought. This will not be the end of my story. He didn't say it out loud. He barely believed it, but it was there, like a small flame in a house full of smoke. From then on, the world didn't get easier. If anything, it got meaner, because once you start wanting more, you start noticing every wall built to keep you out. Kids laughed when he brought extra books home. "Why you trying so hard?" they asked. "You think you better than us." Teachers doubted the sudden change. They waited for him to slip back into the role they had for him. Troublemaker, class clown, future dropout. So he did something nobody expected. He stopped performing for the audience that wanted him to fail. He sat in the front of the class, even when his friends called him lame. He went to the library after school, even when the street outside told its own stories of easy money. He walked past the guys on the corner, their laughter following him like a hook in the back of his shirt, tugging him to stay. Every step away felt like betrayal. Betrayal of his block. Betrayal of the version of himself everyone had already written in their minds. But late at night, when his sister breathed softly in the next room, he made himself a promise. "I will give her a different childhood than the one we got." He failed. A lot. He bombed tests he stayed up all night studying for. He forgot whole paragraphs during presentations because his hands shook too hard. Once, a teacher accused him of cheating because his grades had jumped so fast. "You don't go from D's to A's like that," the teacher said. "Not kids like you." Those words cut deeper than any insult in the hallway. Kids like you. He carried them home, heavy in his chest. Kids like you don't get out. Kids like you don't succeed. Kids like you don't become anything but a warning. That night, he stared at himself in the bathroom mirror. Same brown eyes, same cracked lips, same hand-me-down hoodie. He whispered to his reflection just once. What if kids like me means resilient? What if kids like me means unstoppable? No one answered, but he went back to work. He picked up a job sweeping floors at a corner store, then stocking shelves, then loading trucks. He saved money in a shoebox under his bed, $10 at a time, while his friends splashed cash they made in one weekend doing things that could steal the rest of their lives. He missed parties. He missed sleep. He missed being understood, but he did not miss his chance. One day, a guidance counselor, one of the few adults who actually listened, slid a pamphlet across the desk, a trade program. Far from his neighborhood, far from everything he knew. "Think you can handle being the only one from where you're from?" she asked. He thought of his mother at the kitchen table, his sister on the couch, the long line of kids like you who never got to rewrite the script. "I can handle it," he said. He didn't add, "I have to." The program was brutal. Early mornings, long commutes, people who assumed he was there by mistake. He had to learn a new language of networking, of professionalism, of codes and systems no one at home had ever used. Some days, he sat outside the building, backpack at his feet, heart pounding with the urge to quit, to go back to where he knew the rules, even if those rules led nowhere. But then he'd see his sister's name written on the inside cover of his notebook. He had traced it there the first day. A reminder of why he started. He didn't quit. Years later, people see the ending. They see the successful business, the office with his name on the door, the team that looks to him for answers. They see the tailored suit, the confident smile, the story in magazines about the entrepreneur who beat the odds. They don't see the nights he went to bed hungry so his sister didn't have to. They don't see him walking in the rain because he couldn't afford the bus. They don't see the fear he carried into every room that looked too clean, too shiny, too far from the block where he grew up. He never forgot that boy. The one standing in a dim living room, watching his mother drown in unpaid bills. The one who decided, in a whisper no one else heard, that the cycle ended with him. Now, when he speaks to kids from neighborhoods like his, he doesn't tell them it was easy. He doesn't pretend that hard work alone magically opens every door. He tells them the truth. The odds were against him. The system was not built for him. People with power looked at his zip code and decided his future before he even raised his hand. But odds are not destiny. Upbringing is not a life sentence. Where you start is a chapter, not the whole book. He looks into their eyes, the same tired, hungry, hopeful eyes he once saw in the mirror, and he says, "You come from broken? So did I. You come from chaos? So did I. You were told that success is for other people? So was I. You are not your father leaving. You are not your mother's pain. You are not your neighborhood's reputation. You are the decision you make tonight and tomorrow night and the next, to study when nobody claps for you, to show up when nobody believes in you, to keep going when the odds say stop. One day, they will call you lucky and gifted, and an overnight success let them. You will know the truth. You didn't escape your upbringing. You transformed it into fuel. You are the proof that someone can come from the bottom floor of life, with no elevator, no map, no welcome sign, and still climb, step by step, choice by choice, against every odd. And if someone like you can do that, then the next kid doesn't just get a story to clap for. They get a path to walk on.